evening. Today we are yet again discussing an important issue that has become a big talking point across platforms in our country. The fireworks ban, the cracker ban this Diwali season. But let's begin by taking a look at the air quality level of some of our cities across the country. These are currently the top 10 polluted cities in our country. Delhi, with an AQI level of 485. 485 viewers is severe category level pollution. Close by to Delhi is Faridabad, where the AQI stands at 473. Ghaziabad, where the AQI stands at 474. Gurugram, the AQI at 459. Effectively, all of your NCR has a severe level pollution as we speak. But there are other cities as well. Kanpur tops the charts outside of NCR with an AQI of 404. Lucknow with an AQI of 400, it's bordering severe to very poor category. Ludhiana in the very poor category with AQI at 313. Jaipur with a very poor air quality with an AQI of 308. Bhopal, very poor air quality with an AQI of 304, and Amritsar at 303. Largely, as you see, these are cities from North India. Whereas the cold season sets in, the pollution goes up, and that's leading to a massive spike even in COVID cases. In the light of all of this, as we prepare for Diwali, the Green Court, the National Green Tribunal, or NGT as it's known as, came up with a fresh order today. And the NGT said there will be a complete ban on sale use of crackers along the National Capital Region, across the National Capital Region, starting tomorrow till 30th of November. There will be a ban on crackers during November, even in other cities who have had poor air quality. Now, how will they decide this? As per the order itself, if on an average, these cities have registered poor air quality through the month of November last year, that's going to be taken as benchmark. And in these cities as well, crackers will be banned this Diwali. States with moderate air quality can sell only green crackers. Bursting of green crackers in states to be limited to only 2 hours. Cracker bursting can only be allowed between 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. During Diwali, cracker bursting can also be done between 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. But again, only if you're in a city where the pollution isn't so bad, moderate, very poor categories, not allowed except green crackers. So there are various details that the NGT has gone into. But that's just an order on paper, viewers. At the end of the day, the implementation of this, following this order by the National Green Tribunal, depends on you and me, and depends on our states. Whether the states will strictly implement it, penalize people who refuse to obey the order. Now, 2 states that banned sale and bursting of crackers earlier have already made a U-turn. 2 states who said, we won't allow, then they said, okay, we will allow, maybe just green crackers. All right, go ahead and celebrate your Diwali. What's going on? Is this really time for politics? Or is there something that I'm missing here? Is there actually a logic behind saying that one day, 2 days, on festival days, when it is about our religion and our religious festival and our customs and traditions, everything else should be forgotten, even coronavirus, and let us celebrate the way we do. Everything else should be forgotten, even our health, our lives. And mind you, this isn't just about an individual. It's not just about your right. It's not just about your wish and your freedom to burst a cracker. Because what you do also impacts me. What you do also impacts your family. What you do impacts people around you. So you are responsible, not just for yourself, but ruining the health of hundreds of other people by simply not following this one thing. I've opened up the phone lines. I want to hear from people what they think. People who live in these top 10 polluted cities and others, even in other parts of our country, in southern India and western India, It's not as if the air quality in Mumbai is very clear right now. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about where the onus lies. Should we really depend on states who sometimes fail to look beyond politics? Or should we take the matter in our own hands and pledge not to burst crackers this time? Let's say good evening to Abhishek Dutt, spokesperson for the Congress Party, Dr. Narendra Rangappa, member of the State Executive Committee for BJP Karnataka, Clyde Crasto, spokesperson for the NCP, Mr. V.A. Pugayendi, spokesperson for the AIA-DMK. But first up, I want to go across to Dr. Chandrakant Panda, former professor and head Center for Community Medicine at AIIMS. Good evening to you. Thank you so much, Dr. Panda, for being with us. Dr. Panda, many people are still asking me this question. And they say, how will one day make such a big difference? Why can't we pledge to be more environment friendly, less polluting in the rest of the year, and just let it be for one day? What would you say to that?
I always like to recollect the story which I often repeated on the television screen, including your channel. It's a story of a triangle that moves the mountain. Mountain is the decision of protecting the lives of the people. The triangle, there are three angles to the triangle. There are statesmanship, there is society, and there are scientists. The statesmanship, the state has taken a decision to ban the crackers use this season. I think is the most sensible, sensitive, and socially relevant decision. I fully endorse this decision totally. I think continuing use of cracker is a collective, suicidal, homicidal, and I would say covidicidal decision that we will be taking if you allow permit the use of crackers. Number one. Number two, the science has proved beyond doubt the hazards of crackers. There's a noise pollution, there's a sound pollution, there is light pollution, and there is suspended particles that are polluted, which are very dangerous to the human body. So the question comes to the society. Once again, as a democracy, we have to answer the question of Jan Andolan. The society has to play an extremely important role, a responsible role, because as you very, very rightly said in your opening remarks, it doesn't affect an individual, it's a collective effect that takes place. Not only individuals, I'm also equally concerned about my pet dog. Dogs are morbidly afraid of sound of crackers because of the uncertainty, the loud noise, they feel threatened. Once again, it's a reminder to us that the planet does not belong to human beings alone. How many times will the nature tell us the planet belongs to all of us? Human beings, animals, plants and flowers, and even inanimate things. I think this is an extremely important decision. I totally applaud and strongly support the decision of banning the crackers. There are alternative ways which I'll come to you later. Thank you very much.
Right, absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Panda, for those opening remarks. Let me actually take it across to Dr. Narendra Rangappa, because Dr. Rangappa, I am trying to understand why a state would announce a ban and then go back on it.
Sorry, I can't hear you, ma'am.
Dr. Narendra Rangappa, my question to you is, I'm still trying to understand why there are two states in our country, including Karnataka today, who announced a ban on fireworks and then went back on it.
Madam, first of all, let me open this debate by saying that BJP is committed to a clean environment for the present generation, and we have to leave a legacy for the future generation as well. Keeping this in mind, our Chief Minister, Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa, has taken a very mature stand and decision to balance between the religious sentiments and the environment requirement of the present situation. So, keeping this in mind and the recommendation of the National Green Tribunal and the Supreme Court that in places where the AQI is moderate, we can fire green crackers. So keeping both in mind, Mr. Yediyurappa has taken a very mature decision to balance this out and make both the sides of the argument agreeable.
No, but Dr. Narendra Rangappa, you are a man of science yourself. Please help me understand, and let's not now depend on what the National Green Tribunal has said, because NGT's order only came today. Mr. Yedurappa went back on the decision much before that. And how I see it is, it was done simply because of political pressure, as a political move. Now, is it fair to say, all right, the pollution isn't so bad because it's in the 300 range, not 400 range, so let them burst crackers?
Sorry, ma'am, your voice is breaking. It's not audible.
Okay, we're going to try and patch that line again with you, Dr. Rangappa, so you can hear me better. Clyde Crasto wants to make a point. Go ahead, please.
Tanvi, we've been debating about, this pandemic for a long time now. And something that you've always spoken, your channel, and we've always spoken is that during this pandemic is not the time to politicize anything. We have to think of each other, whether it's the BJP or the NCP or any other political party. We have to think of every individual in this country. So the point here is, if you're talking about Karnataka, they have taken certain decisions which have been politically motivated, and I failed to understand why they are doing so. Even earlier, when the rest of the country was, trying to lock down and then trying to, stop people from going out, they were the ones who were opening up borders. They were the ones who were opening up the lockdown norms, and now they are going ahead and, kind of allowing people to burst crackers. I think, we have to look at it from a broader perspective. This whole issue about firecrackers and banning of firecrackers is very important because pollution levels. Now, what is the one thing that has been affecting the people who are infected with the coronavirus? It's the breathing, it's the lungs, and with the air quality going bad, with the pollution and the smoke coming up due to the firecrackers, it's only going to make it worse. So people who are actually going through the virus right now, people who have recovered from the virus, and you don't know how many of them could be actually going to be infected with the virus. So this is one thing that is going to affect them very badly. It's going to be the smoke from the firecrackers. So why is it so difficult for any government to understand?
Clyde, I'm sorry, I'm a little confused here. I'm sorry, I'm a little confused here. Is there an order that I have missed in Maharashtra? Last I checked, Maharashtra only had an advisory.
Can I come to that? Okay. So I was just going to get to that. I'm going to get to that and a few other things if you allow me to complete. Okay. Now the point here is, even in Maharashtra, the Honorable Chief Minister said this very clearly, that the local municipalities, the local districts are going to take decisions according to the gravity of the situation in that particular area. And the proof of that is that Mumbai, the BMC, has banned bursting of firecrackers. And every other district or municipal corporation is going to assess the situation and accordingly take a decision. At the same time, the Honorable Chief Minister very nicely said that, listen, I don't want to impose curbs on you. I don't want to pressurize you. You people are sensible enough. You have a good understanding. You know what is going to affect the people who are going to suffer from this pandemic. If firecrackers are going to affect, you have to take your own decisions and understand. We have to help each other. We have to cooperate with each other, whether it comes to firecrackers, whether it's coming to social distancing, physical distancing, wearing masks. We have been going with the people. See, you impose curbs when you can be a little bit different from the others. It's not necessary to impose curbs. At the same time, take the people into confidence and tell them, let's work together. And I'll tell you something, there are people have been sensible enough, people have been understanding enough. When we've spoken to them like that, they have gone ahead and people are not going to burst crackers. We see that happening. No, but certain areas, seeing the population,
right.
See, just the last 30 seconds. Seeing the population of a particular district or a particular city, we have to take certain decisions, and the BMC has taken that decisions, and we are going to follow these norms very, very carefully because our sole motive is to get out of this. I'll quickly to tell you that, see the situation in Mumbai right now. The doubling rate has gone up to 241 days. The recovery rate is 90%. 0.29% is the kind of ratio that shows about the death rate that is going on and the infection rate. So we have to go with that, and we are improving. And I think by doing this, we are only looking at better days coming in the future.
Okay, let me take this back to some of our other panelists as well, because I don't think just an advisory works. That's playing it as safe as saying we are going to allow green crackers. On ground, who's going to go and check whether it's a green cracker or not? Where are you getting these green crackers from? On ground, who's going to check whether you're following the norms? what is the AQI level? Is it 291? Is it 300? Can you burst? Can you not burst? Is it within the time period? These are the issues that will actually effectively come down to the state governments and their conviction of what has to be done. Abhishek, I'm a little confused with what your party's view is on that. So let's begin with that. Should the crackers be banned or not?
Tanvi, I'm surprised you've asked me this question. Ashok Gehlotji's government in Rajasthan was the first state government to announce this ban. So I thought you would have appreciated what he started in other states, including Delhi, followed.
Yeah, I
But the
appreciate
problem-
what Rajasthan government did. I'm specifically asking about Congress party and other Congress ruled governments.
So if Mr. Ashok Gehlot is announcing something, that is very clear that the Congress party is announcing that. And where Delhi is concerned, I was just walking back to my house from my office. This is about 20 minutes back. And I'm telling you, you can't even walk on the roads. The air quality at the moment is beyond our imagination. And before coming on to the debate, I was seeing what the incumbent governments have been promising since 2016, 2017, 2018, and now 2020. But the situation is getting worse because we are also in the middle of a pandemic. If you look at the number of deaths in Delhi, which has gone up in the last 4 days, it's also because a lot of people with respiratory issues having coronavirus is equal to more deaths. So I think the state government must take the LG into confidence and ensure that there are no crackers bursted in Delhi, because today it is about a survival. I'll give you a very small example. When the lockdown was announced in India, we used to meet a lot of migrants walking back to Bihar, and they were walking back. They were not taking buses. So when we used to tell them to stay back, they used to say us ki jaan bachegi to hi to corona se bachenge. And today again we are in the same position. It's only if we are able to live in good healthy condition, that is when our next generation will enjoy what our legacy is, what our culture is. Today I'm telling you, if you start doing the checkups in hospitals, I know of a couple of deaths that happened today in my own constituency. A lady who's 70-year-old has died because of respiratory issues. She had no coronavirus. Last 4 days, she was at AIMS, and today morning, she passed away. So there are so many cases. The number of deaths in Delhi, as per a report published by USA, in India, the number of deaths have crossed 7 lakhs this year, which is a very big figure, keeping in mind for 8 months we were in a lockdown. So I think where EPCA, where EPCA is concerned, where GRAB is concerned, where all these organizations are concerned, for example, the moment you name CBI, the moment you name ED, there's a fear factor within the people. But with EPCA and all, people are not scared of them. I'm telling you today, 3 days back, there was Karwa Chauth in Delhi, there were cracker bursted all over. Yeah. There is no control system. So the government has to come together beyond political lines. I'm repeating again.
So let's get out beyond Delhi as well. Abhishek, let's go beyond Delhi. And you're very proud of what Ashok Gehlot has done in Rajasthan. I will say very good. Full marks to Mr. Ashok Gehlot and the Rajasthan government for taking the lead. Yes. Well, what about Punjab? Punjab has made an official submission. Allow me to tell my viewers this part, what you know and I know. Punjab has made an official submission to the National Green Tribunal 2 days ago, saying there is no need to ban crackers. Chandigarh has, Haryana did, Haryana went back on it. But in Punjab, as we speak, if I open up the map for AQI levels, a lot of it is in red, which is very poor and severe category, including cities like Ludhiana, including places like Hoshiarpur. So how do you explain that?
Tanvi, I think, what you are saying, I'm sure the Chief Minister will definitely see what's happening around. He's very much concerned, even about stubble burning, even about environment. And I'm telling you, even if you look at the election manifesto of the Congress party, we were the only party before the last Lok Sabha elections who interacted with all the NGOs and all the environmentalist experts. And our manifesto very clearly talked about how to control air pollution. And now, since it has come across to me, I will personally ensure that a message will be sent to the Chief Minister's office to reconsider that. I can assure you that.
The states are still reconsidering it. Haryana reconsidered to say, well, when we issued the order, it is because there was an increase in COVID cases, but now we think it's okay to give at least 2 hours for others to celebrate. This back and forth, this last minute decisions, that's not good either. It's not good for people. It's not good for actual implementation on ground. It sends chaotic, confusing messages to people, and it's not good for the traders either. Now, for example, just keeping that in mind, just keeping the fireworks industry, the traders involved in mind, here is the Tamil Nadu government that said, please don't ban crackers. Mr. Pugayandi, shouldn't we be looking at other options to support these people who've had a major business loss? It can't be put on the same level as the health of millions of people in our country.
Good evening to
Right, coming to
now.
you next. Yes, Mr.
Good
Pugayandi,
evening.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, madam, not able to ban. If you ban, do you know 10 lakh, more than 10 lakh workers involved in this? The continuously 1 year they are manufacturing these crackers. Not now. You are correctly mentioned the traders, few lakhs traders throughout the nation waiting for these crackers. They are waiting for, they want to sell this through selling only the life. This is the thing going on here. That's why we are not. You are asking other alternative. We have no other alternative. This is the business going on here past so many years because the workers. I mentioned that the Tamil Nadu government now certified most of the products green crackers only. They are most recommending the green crackers that is coming to the market now, getting traders and selling up to the border of Karnataka and throughout the nation, that Sivagasi, South Tamil Nadu, they are manufacturing and sending. That is only 1 week, this sales and Deepavali. Just to think about 1 year, they are struggling because the COVID time, during the COVID, they have very much struggled with this labor, sorry, believe or not. Now
so what is it
question
that the state government is doing to help them out? My question to you is simply this. Have you thought of a relief package? Have you thought of some amount of reimbursements for the business loss they are looking at? That the fact, yes, it is important to take care of those 10 lakh people, Mr. Pugayandi, but you can't say that for that we will ruin the complete environment and health of lakhs of people in the country.
Yeah, no, not this is the 2 or 3 days. Now the COVID position is that we have brought down very nicely, that we are helping the people. Only the Tamil Nadu, every nearly 2 crores people below poverty line, they are getting rice also in the house. The 30 kg rice we are giving every month. So many facilities are there.
No, I am talking about those linked to the fireworks industry. The reason you have requested other states to not ban fireworks.
No, wait a minute. See, that financially you cannot help. How can you give the salary? You tell me. No, I am talking about 1 year, future 1 year. This week only they are getting the money. Another 1 year, suppose if we ban another 1 year, they will suffer. Where they will go, you tell me. So I am asking one question now, Mirror. Without the pollution, you show me the area in national, that India, wherever, whichever the state you tell me. The industries is there, pollution is there. Why you are blaming only this? That's why our Chief Minister wrote a letter to the other Chief Minister to cooperate this.
Right, okay. Let me, okay, Clyde wants to make a point and then I will take this question back to Dr. Pandav, but Clyde first, yes.
You know, Tanvi, I think we all as a country need to put our heads together and think about all this. The center-state relation need to, build stronger. Because I'll tell you something, it's not that one state is going to get affected, so the other does not get affected. You look at other countries. The other countries have gone into lockdown. I mean, these are the countries don't even have a population anywhere close to our country. Whether it's France or Germany or Ireland or England, you see these countries have gone into lockdown because the cases have come back again. The second wave has come in. I mean, the less we talk about America right now and the cases there, it's the better because it's only going to affect us mentally. So I just feel that every state in our country needs to come together along with the center, put our minds together. And we need to see right now, if we cross over this hurdle, it's only going to be better days. So I think this is the period, and with firecrackers being burst and with the smoke coming in, it's only going to get, worse. The matters are going to be worse. We need to actually, sacrifice is the word right now. To sacrifice in a lot of ways to get over this thing, because
So I'm
now
still
that
not
we are
understanding,
recovering,
Clyde.
let's
You're
not do
saying,
something
I
that has
agree
put us
with you.
back again and all the hard work that we've done.
I agree with you. In fact, it's barely a sacrifice. It's just to get it, as part of our mindset to condition ourselves that this is not required. It wasn't really originally part of the, religious text. Diwali is an interpretation and a reason for celebration in various parts of the country for various reasons, and it has a lot more to do with spending time with your family, celebrating, praying, if that's what you want to follow. Cooking together, making sweets, meeting your relatives, lighting up your house, using lights. It's a festival of lights. It was never taught to us as a festival of smoke and sound. So I don't see this as a sacrifice. But my question to you is again, what are you saying? You're saying the onus is on people, or is the onus on the state?
Both. It's equally. See, you have to understand, the state has to do certain things. The people have to cooperate. So it's a two-way thing. It cannot be a one-way thing, because, like you said, you questioned me earlier, why are you not completely banning it, or why are you not just giving guidelines? Because you can't keep imposing. It's been 7-8 months of mental stress for everyone, and you can't keep doing it. At some point, you have to trust your people. At some point, you have to understand that yes, your people will cooperate with you. At the same time, the people have to understand that the state has been going through this with us. The state has been giving us certain things, so we need to cooperate with them. So my thing is, it's a two-way thing. The state has to do its duty. The people have to cooperate with the state, and together we have to make sure that we fight this pandemic. We cannot fight it alone as just the state or just the people. We have to do it together.
But what do you do? And this is, even for our viewers to think about, what do you do when your own leaders will turn around and say, what happens in a day or two? Why are you after just this one day or just these 2 days? You can be responsible throughout the year. Why target our festival? Now, when those are the kind of comments that are made, why are people on ground really going to bother? They're not going to bother. They're simply going to follow their leader and go about business as usual, without realizing that every single cracker, every single extra pollutant in the air leads to more chances of COVID. More number of people right now are dying in the national capital. Number of cases in the national capital right now is much more than what we saw when it was peaking in the summers for the entire country and for Delhi. People who are getting admitted to hospitals are getting admitted with more severe condition. Their condition is worse. More number of serious cases are getting admitted. This is happening in a part of our country right away. It will happen in other parts 10 days later if we don't learn our lessons from what is happening in Delhi. If we add to the pollution, tomorrow it will be Kanpur, Bhopal, Lucknow, Ludhiana, Amritsar. All of these cities will have the same fate, and we wouldn't know what would have hit us. Let me go across to a couple of viewers before I go back to our panelists. Mr. Rajendra Bhansali is calling us from Bengaluru. Good evening. Go ahead, please. What's your view, Rajendra?
Yes, madam. Good evening.
What would you like to say on this debate?
See, the thing is, all the steps taken is correct. It is polluting. It is health of the country. COVID is there. We agree. Where the NGT government officers were there 6 months back, 4 months back, why they allowed Sivakasi people or manufacturers to manufacture the crackers? Fine. All the traders have purchased crores of rupees, lakhs of rupees from village to the city. Is it necessary for the NGT to take this order just 4 days before of the festival? Now,
Okay,
who is responsible for this loss? Number
well,
one.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Bhansali, I agree with you. This was a conversation we've also had internally on why this decision this late. But, it is not really National Green Tribunal's job. It is the job of the states. It's the jobs of our governments to ensure that they take steps throughout the year, all year round, to curb pollution, to crack down on pollution. Every year, unfortunately, after repeatedly asking them, what are you doing, what are you doing, what are you doing, what are you doing, what about this, what about this, what about stubble burning, what about polluting industries, what about brick kilns, and there are hundreds of hearings that take place at the National Green Tribunal, at our high courts, at our Supreme Court, orders, dozens of orders that come through the year. It's only when none of this gets affected and implemented on ground that National Green Tribunal or any other court gives up around the time when things get really out of hand pollution wise and say, okay, let's take these drastic steps as well because you have failed to do a job. So you should actually, you have a legitimate point, because there will be traders, there will be manufacturers, businessmen who will witness a massive loss of money. And this year, nobody should be going through that. We've already been through hell. But you should ask these questions to the government on what did you do about pollution. For example, did the Delhi government think about this 6 months ago? That's the big question. I'm coming to you, Abhishek. I know you want to make a point, but Mr. Ram Mansukhani is also on the phone line and he's calling us from Mumbai. Good evening, Mr. Mansukhani. What would you like to say?
Good evening, madam. What I mean to say, what government is doing, what people are doing, you keep on debating, no remedy at all. Now we should stop immediately cracker sale in full India, and all citizens of India should follow strict rules and implement. Only government cannot implement. We all should cooperate, and it should be banned forever. Because noise pollution, this pollution, that, everybody is talking about everything. But nothing has been done in our country. So it should be banned from today and it should be banned forever.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mansukhani, for calling us and sharing your views. I hope more and more people, have the same thought as you do, and in fact teach their own children this as well, because at the end of the day, what we are fighting for is a cleaner, healthier future for our children. Dr. Pandav, you are back with us. I had a panelist on the show who said, why just for a day or two now? Why do we need to stop crackers? What would you say to that? The extent of damage that can be done with just 2 hours of cracker bursting.
It's immediate effect as well as long-term effects. Immediately, the compounds that are used in crackers cause dermatitis, respiratory problems. They are toxic. They are carcinogenic. I think, to me, there should be absolutely zero tolerance to use of firecrackers, no matter it's 4 days or 3 days. That's my very strong opinion. Number one. As I said earlier, it is suicidal, homicidal, comicidal, crackicidal to allow to permit the use of crackers. Number three, I come from Maharashtra state. I'm rather amazed by the state government's decision that let the district take the decision. I think it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous for the district to take the decision. Democracy gives you freedom of choice, but it doesn't give you freedom of choice to kill others or expose others to hazardous things. I think this is a distortion of the use of the word democracy. Number five, crackers is a new form of COVID. I looked at the history. Crackers were first used in China way back in 200 BC. So this is a new incarnation. So this is another Chinese strategy to cause global problems. They use bamboo as a means of using crackers. When they heated bamboo, it cracked. That's when the cracker was used. The year was 200 BC. So this is the new incarnation of COVID in the form of crackers. So zero tolerance to the use of crackers, whether yesterday, today, or tomorrow. The other thing I want to state very clearly that Shivkashi is a place in Tamil Nadu where crackers are made. And who are making the crackers? It is the children who are making it. So there is a child labor that is being done, and this is totally ignored by people. So I think if you look at it, there is a multiplicative, exponential issues that are more dangerous to use of crackers than stopping them. There are other alternative ways of doing it. Use laser lights, use electronic lights, enjoy. But important thing in life is do not cause harm to others if we cannot prevent or promote it. So in conclusion, very, very strong opposition to the use of crackers, whether 1 hour or 2 hours. Very, very strong.
The thick smoke that's generated, from these crackers impacts our entire respiratory tract a little bit, can actually prove very, very dangerous, especially for younger children whose bodies are still, gaining the strength and developing. The smoke that's emanated also causes congestion in the throat and the chest, and then all of that just stays there for days together. It's not about 1 hour or 2 hours. Smoke by firecrackers affects people who already have existing preconditions. Thick smoke increases the risk of cancer in people, and of course then there are other larger horrifying impacts. For example, in pregnant women it can even lead to a miscarriage. It's not a joke. It's not about 1 hour or 2 hours. It's about what it does to us. Add to that the additional challenge of COVID. It leads to a higher chance of people contracting COVID. We are not a country that has the kind of health infrastructure that can take an immediate spike. We will begin to struggle, and this time it will be worse than what we saw during the lockdown. It will be worse on our healthcare system than what we saw during summers. Clyde, do you want to respond to what Dr. Pandav is saying about Maharashtra government's advisory?
Well, I heard Dr. Pandav, and he's a senior doctor, and I just, out of complete respect for his position, I tend to sort of disagree in a little way with what he's saying. Yes, he's right in a way that, yes, these firecrackers are going to cause pollution, and, he's explained the whole thing to us. But like Honorable Chief Minister Mr. Uddhav Thackeray explained, that at some point we need to take the people into confidence and trust them. We need to trust the people, because we've gone through so much. You've been explaining this. Everybody has been talking about this, that we've gone through a lot in the last 7-8 months. It's been, mental stress. So banning everything and, completely putting this kind of imposition of people, at some point, they're also going to get stressed out. I mean, we are opening up slowly. We are opening up gradually. And we have spoken to the districts. Now, talking about the population of a particular district, it's very high. If there's a lot of congestion, there is a ban like Mumbai. So other districts also, other cities will also follow in Maharashtra. But at some places where there is less population, there is open area, there is a green zone. There, people have to understand they so more to take this decision that, okay, we will not burst crackers. So sometimes you have to trust our people. We have to work together. So that is what we've been trying to do that. Dr. Pandav is right on his part as a doctor, and he understands. I do not dispute that at all. But you have to also understand the state where they are coming from. They are trying to instill their faith and their trust in people. And I'm sure the people will respond to what the call we've given them.
So how will this work? Help me understand that. At what point will these district authorities take a decision? On the day of Diwali, a day before Diwali?
No.
When the manufacturers have already invested money in buying it to sell it in the markets, when people have already spent the money in buying these crackers, when do they take this decision?
They've already, decisions have been coming up. The BMC has done it today. In a day or two, all these decisions will be out and will be clear and cut in front of you. It's not going to take a long time now. The decisions are being taken immediately. As we speak, a couple of decisions may be coming up.
Okay, so Abhishek, that wanted to make a point, and then I have a question for Dr. Rangappa, who is back on the show. But Abhishek, first you.
Tanvi, just a couple of suggestions. I will talk specifically about Delhi NCR. We face some more infrastructure issues within our city. I don't want to say something because since the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson is not there, but I'll be very generic. Our transportation system in Delhi has come down. We are not working on thermal plants. We are not fighting towards dust, construction dust. So, crackers are also accompanied with a lot of other issues that eventually lead to such a condition in Delhi NCR. I'll give you a very small example. There was a gentleman, Mr. Rajender, who came on your show, who called up right now. It's very sad, even on the traders of Delhi, that, a week before, the Honorable Minister, Mr. Gopal Rai, visits Nai Sadak, speaks to the traders, encourage them to sell, green crackers. There are 138 licenses issued this year in comparison to 62 last year. So they didn't anticipate what Corona was going through in Delhi. They didn't anticipate the air quality level. And even the day they were allowed, the air quality level in Delhi was 402. So I will repeat again, the Delhi government or any state government has to have a futuristic and a proper approach, anticipating the air quality level. A decision should have been taken a month before or 15 days before, where they should have been very clear in saying that please don't invest in crackers. I know 138 traders have paid money to Delhi police to get their licenses. I'm talking about official money. They've given money to the supplier and everything has gone waste. And I wouldn't be surprised that some of them are even trying to sell it in the wrong way just to cover up their own cost. So in future, the Delhi government needs to be much more clear where air pollution is concerned.
Yeah.
And by next year, buy 7,000 more buses, create metro network, reduce two-wheeler traffic, reduce car traffic, encourage on electric, vehicles, work on solid waste management rules. These are the things. If you can work all of that together in the next 1 year, maybe the situation will improve to what it used to be when we were kids.
Yeah.
But now what we are facing is bad administrative decisions along with coronavirus, along with smoke, and yes, what you always say, stubble burning. That is also one of the reasons. But all this has to be stopped by the government by strong decision. And that's when I think in the future things could be better. Otherwise, the way things are going, we're only every year it's getting worse.
Okay, let me go across to Dr. Rangappa. I do agree with you, Abhishek, and that's exactly the point that I was making, that courts and tribunals wait all year around while asking questions to the governments on what they've done, and when they see every year by this time that nothing has been done, they have no option but to step in.
Absolutely.
You cannot blame them at all. It's the governments who need to be acting on time. Now, let me ask Dr. Rangappa this question. Dr. Rangappa, this late, if you confuse people by saying no ban, oh yes there is a ban, oh only in certain places there is a ban, oh you can use green crackers, how are people going to know what's going on? Aren't you just creating confusion?
Definitely not. Definitely not. We are for the people and we want to have a safe environment, and this situation is very special, complicated by the COVID-19 virus as well. But let me remind you what is happening since 2015 in the Supreme Court, where the case has been going on, as well as the National Green Tribunal. Way back, 1 year back, in the same month of November, the Supreme Court has directed NEERI, the National Environment Engineering Research Institute, to come up with a better solution for the previous crackers. And they have come up with some excellent solutions, like the star cracker or the Shuffles cracker or the Swas where they have done away with the strontium, barium, lithium, nitrates and chlorides to bring a better thing. And the best part is 230 companies in Sivakasi have made an agreement with NEERI to manufacture green crackers. And I'm very sorry that many of my panelists are not able to identify this fact that 230 companies of Sivakasi itself have made an agreement with NEERI to manufacture green crackers. If these 230 companies have been aware of the situation, I am very surprised why the other companies are manufacturing the old barium and lithium loaded crackers. So, the Bharatiya Janata Party has been dragged into this issue unnecessarily by...
No, Bharatiya Janata Party is not being dragged into this issue unnecessarily, Dr. Rangappa. Bharatiya Janata Party made a decision in two states and went back on that decision in 2 states. Went back on the decision to ban crackers in 2 states. Why? Why can't you simply go ahead and just ban crackers, all crackers? Can you give me details in how many cities and towns are these green crackers available this year?
Madam, 230 companies are manufacturing green crackers.
Yes.
Why can't the traders go and buy crackers from them? Who is preventing them? Because 230 companies only in Sivakasi are manufacturing. Why are they not aware? Why are they not keeping up with the orders of the Supreme Court and the National Green Tribunal? They have been sleeping over for 1 year. Are you trying to tell me they are not aware?
Are you trying to tell me that the blame is on the traders and not the governments who decide their policies in the last minute? I find it very amusing that you're blaming just the traders and not the governments who keep changing policies. Your government in the state of Karnataka has changed its policy 3 times this week. And you're blaming the traders for not pre-planning.
Tanvi.
No. We are very clear. According to the National Green Tribunal, depending upon the air quality index, they have given permissions according to the air quality index saying moderate, severe and very poor qualities. According to that, In Bangalore only the situation was different, and so the Yediyurappa government has said in the
Dr.
previous
Rangappa,
order,
Dr.
moderate,
Rangappa,
so
you
we'll
know,
allow green
Dr.
crackers.
Rangappa,
Whereas
please
in the
don't
rest of
use the National
Karnataka,
Green
it is very
Tribunal's
clear.
order today, because that's not part of your policy. That's what the NGT said. I would advise you, sir, you please go and do a survey outside in Karnataka today. Try and ask people how many people know about green crackers. What is the difference between green crackers and regular crackers, and where do you buy these crackers? Please just go and find out in your own state. You will have the answer. Let me go across. Let me go across to two of our viewers, and then Mr. Pugayandi can respond to what Dr. Rangappa is saying. 1 minute, please. I have a viewer calling us from Salem, and Mr. Tamiz is on the phone line calling us from Salem. Your name essentially means that you are a Tamilian. But thank you for calling. Is this your real name, or are you representing everybody from your state right now?
Hello, madam. My name is Tamil Kanal from Salem. I definitely disagree the ban of these crackers. In Tamil Nadu, especially in Sivakasi, the many people are throughout the year working on cracker working. They should not another work. They 1 year working. They should not one day the Deepavali. There is a economy of these people home. In India, the many industries pollution. We should not identify the government that, but only know the Deepavali crackers. Why should they that? It's my question.
Okay, thank you, Tavis, for calling. And you're saying, why should they suffer? There are so many other industries that are equally polluting. But I can tell you that there is merit in saying that when the Supreme Court 2 years ago ordered a ban to begin with in certain parts, and as every year pollution gets worse, firecrackers will become controversial, will become problematic, and that industry will not be able to thrive for too long. So those people in Sivakasi also need to start looking at other options, and that is where the responsibility of the state government and Mr. Pugayandi comes in telling them what else they could get into, a business which is safer and probably will give them better returns. Mr. Pugayandi.
I want to give the answer to our Dr. Narendra ji. Very important. This, do you know, madam, you know, or I don't know, that actually this Karnataka, kind information, I am also living in Karnataka. I am from Bangalore now, speaking from Bangalore. Kind information, so many lakhs together people, not mistake, lakhs together people, entering the Osur, border of Tamil Nadu, they used to buy the crackers. They used to call small Sivagasi Lake. I don't know why doctor denying this. Doctor knows well this is going on here because very big small industry is going on the border Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. This is a very important point I am raising. There is no empirical data busting up green crackers can affect COVID patients. That is any proof is there? You tell me now. First thing. Second, I am asking another question. Please ban everything in the nation. I don't want any industries here. Air polluting, factories, old buses, cars, scooter, everything is polluting the country. No doubt about it. Stop, ban everything, ban. Because you don't want to give the chance for the poor laborers. You are arguing against the poor laborers. That poor guys, the 10 lakhs people on the road, the food and everything is a problem.
No, Mr. Pugayandi, please don't put it on me or anybody else. That decision is yours.
No.
You are the policy maker. You have to ensure that these laborers get job in better industries, less polluting industries. Every industry that emanates any kind of pollutants in the air has to get the legitimate permissions, and we also question when those permissions are not properly in place and the industries are allowed to function. That is another battle altogether. Please don't compare it to the issue at hand right now, which is about people's desire to burst firecrackers that leads to risking their own health. It is the responsibility of the government also to guide this labor to find employment and to employ them in better places. That is what you have to do. Now, Dr. Chandrakant Pandav wanted to make a point earlier about this issue as well. Dr. Pandav, go ahead, please. Your view on what is being said. By this logic, shut down every industry which is polluting at all.
I would say very strongly, yes, we have to take a positive step in this direction. I think we have been relaxed and democratic for too long. It's time that the government and the society takes a tough decision. Whatever is preventable should be preventable, and its implementation should be done very strongly. Number two, you said about having crackers. I think it's an invitation for early and premature death. It's totally preventable. Number three, my friend from Maharashtra said, I don't think so. Our democracy has reached that level of maturity that they can take decisions that are beneficial to all. Number four, every action in life has benefits and risks. And the risk of having a crackers too is much more than the benefits that they have. I certainly agree with my colleague that Shivkashi, they have been working for the last 65 days. An appropriate mechanism of compensation should be done for them so there is no financial loss. The other thing about Shivkashi, it is the children who are involved in cracker industry. That point we should not forget it. And finally, as a physician, my last statement would be, I think it's time to crack jokes and laugh, because after all, laughter is the best medicine.
Yes, well, I would
Tanvi,
totally agree with that, and hope that more people follow that advice and any
Tanvi,
other advice. I have a couple of viewers on the call, but 30 seconds to Clyde before I go to our viewers.
yeah, Tanvi, just two things quickly I'd like to say. I mean, the gentleman from AIDMK, I think, you can't be very rigid, you can't say it's either my way or the highway. At the same time, the question arises when it comes to this BJP spokesperson, and he listed out more than 200 companies that are making green crackers, and he sort of went on to blame the traders. My point is, did the Karnataka government take these traders into confidence? That's my question. Did they take them into confidence? Did they tell them that, oh, you have to only sell green crackers? Did they give them a directive? Did they inform them about the green crackers? These are the questions, because now you can't blame the traders. That why can't they do it? If they knew, I mean, from what he's saying, it looks like they've got a study of, all this for a long time now. So did they take the traders into confidence and tell them, no, you only sell green crackers?
Correct.
If they've not done that, I don't think they can blame the traders right now for this.
Okay. Let me go across to Bharat Vashish, patiently waiting on the phone line, calling us from Faridabad. That's as polluted as Delhi right now and really struggling with the air quality. Good evening, Mr. Vashish. Go ahead, please.
नमस्कार मैडम। मैडम, मेरा विचार सिर्फ यही है कि आप जो ये प्रोग्राम कर रहे हैं, तो जितने भी हमारे नेता हैं, एनजीटी है, कोर्ट्स हैं, अभिनेता जो भी हैं, पर्यावरणविद हैं, बुद्धिजीवी हैं, सभी को एक ही दिन के लिए याद आता है कि दिवाली आ गई, अब दिवाली पे पोल्यूशन होगा, क्रैकर्स को बैन कर दो। पूरे साल कोई एयर पोल्यूशन पे इतनी बड़ी बात नहीं होती। एयर पोल्यूशन, मैं एनसीआर में रहता हूँ, हरियाणा से बिलोंग करता हूँ, किसी सरकार की हिम्मत नहीं है किसी एक किसान के वो चालान कर दे पराली जलाने के ऊपर। किसी की सरकार के अंदर हिम्मत नहीं है, मतलब कोई भी किसी भी पार्टी की सरकार हो। नंबर 2, अब दिवाली के बारे में बात हो रही है, 3-4 महीने बाद होली आएगी, तो वाटर पॉल्यूशन और वाटर स्कार्सिटी के बारे में बात स्टार्ट हो जाएगी। पूरे साल कुछ नहीं होगा, बस होली दिवाली पर स्टार्ट हो जाता है। मैंने तो यहाँ तक कि एक आर्टिकल हिंदू में पढ़ा था जिसके अंदर की एनिमल सैक्रिफाइस के ऊपर था कि एनिमल सैक्रिफाइस करने के बाद बहुत जबरदस्त पॉल्यूशन होता है, बट उसके बारे में कोई डिबेट नहीं होता। ये सिर्फ होली दिवाली पर ही क्यों स्टार्ट होता है? नंबर सबसे बड़ा एक और बात बताता हूँ
मिस्टर वशिष्ठ, आप मुझे ये बताएं, आप ये समझ पा रहे हैं कि पोल्यूशन बढ़ने से कोविड भी के केसेस बढ़ रहे हैं आज एनसीआर रीजन में?
बिल्कुल मैडम, कोविड के केसेस बढ़ रहे हैं। मैं वही बात पे आ रहा था कि आज से 3 महीने पहले मध्य प्रदेश में सरकार उठापटक हुई, दुनिया भर का जमावड़ा हुआ, महाराष्ट्र के अंदर हुआ, राजस्थान के अंदर हुआ, तब कोविड का ख्याल नहीं आया किसी को भी।
ठीक है, तो शायद आप गलत चैनल देख रहे थे भरत वशिष्ठ अभी तक। मेरी उम्मीद ये रहेगी कि अब आप आगे से मिरर नाउ ज्यादा देखें। आप जो मेरे पैनलिस्ट बैठे वो भी आपको बता सकते हैं, मिस्टर पुगयंडी, अभिषेक दत्त, क्लाइड क्रैस्टो, डॉक्टर चंद्रकांत पांडव और बड़े सारे बहुत बार हमारे शो में पूरे साल आ चुके हैं। दे हैव कम कंटिन्यूसली टू डिस्कस पोल्यूशन, to discuss government policies that have gone wrong from Punjab to Rajasthan, Haryana, Delhi, repeatedly about Delhi, even in Maharashtra, even in Tamil Nadu. We have discussed pollution. We have discussed the other issues that you have raised here. Right now, Mr. Vashish, the time is not about whataboutery. It isn't. Don't feel victimized. Don't feel victimized and targeted. Right now, we're talking about the health of everybody, your and my health, and everyone's health. It's irrespective of which festivals we celebrate. It's irrespective of which backgrounds we come from, whether we are rich or poor, healthy or hearty, or we have preconditions, whether we are Hindu or Muslim or Christian, it doesn't matter. The current situation is such कि कोविड किसी को भी हो सकता है और पोल्यूशन से सबकी जान को खतरा है और सबके लंग्स को उतना ही डैमेज हो रहा है. जब हमें हमारी तबीयत खराब होगी, हमारे लंग्स पे असर पड़ेगा, तो हमें भी उसी हॉस्पिटल जाना होगा जहां बाकी सब जा रहे हैं. तो ये जो वॉट अबाउटरी है, जो कुछ लोग कुछ नैरेटिव बनाते हैं और कुछ पार्टीज वो नैरेटिव बेचती हैं, उनमें मत फंसिए. अपनी खुद की हेल्थ और अपने खुद के बच्चों के बारे में सोचिए. उन्हीं को होगी ब्रीदिंग प्रॉब्लम्स, उन्हीं को जाना पड़ेगा हॉस्पिटल और उन्हीं को जवाब देना पड़ेगा और आपको वो जवाब देना पड़ेगा. You the viewer will have to answer those questions about why they wake up to such polluted cities in our country. And nobody is saying it's just because of Diwali. Nobody is saying it's just because of fireworks. All we are simply saying is, now is not the time to make it worse. We cannot afford it. Thank you so much to all of our panelists for joining us on this conversation.